All
It's
right.
now. We're here. We're live. It's hot as hell, and we're ready to talk sports. Here we
Yeah,
are.
man. I'm
How's it
ready.
going? Welcome to the show. This is the SVT pod. I guess I decided to start talking. We didn't really talk about it before we started recording. Somebody had to start talking. This is Vince. For those of you who are just listening, not on the YouTube stream. If you're not, shame on you. You can join us here every Monday afternoons. We start recording live at 5:30. That's Pacific time. Sam, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing really good. How are you guys?
Good, good. Tyler, how are you, man?
Hey, man. It always feels good when you beat the Chiefs, right?
Right. Tim is on the ones and twos. As per usual, he gives us a thumbs up. He doesn't have his talking microphone on for the people to hear, but he's feeling better this week than he was last week, and he's ready to roll. So with that, let's talk about that game specifically since you brought it up, Tyler. The Eagles get the win against the Chiefs 20-17. Patrick Mahomes, for the first time in his career, he's lost 3 games in a row, going back to that Super Bowl loss. How you
Doesn't
feeling?
That feel good? Doesn't that feel good?
Feels pretty good. Yeah.
Honestly, like the Chiefs have some issues, and I think it starts with that O-line. Like, they did not look good in week 1. Obviously the Eagles defense is another level. So I'm not going to say that you get to play teams like the Eagles defense every single week, but it looks like there's some glaring issues at the guard, at the right tackle. So I don't know if getting their horses back on the offense is really going to help them out as much. It's kind of hard when you're trying to run for your life the whole entire time. But it was a solid game from the Eagles. Was it something crazy and mind blowing like the Super Bowl? No, but it was as Sam, as that guy would say, we put our hard hats on and we went to work, right? So it wasn't a flashy win, and Mahomes got a pretty crazy. Stop me if you heard this, but he got a favorable call in his favor of a pass. I'm sorry, not pass interference. Whatever they call it, breathing on Mahomes is what he got basically. So he gets that first down.
Roughing the passer. Yeah.
Yeah, looking at Mahomes the wrong way. That's a flag. So he gets the first down and gets that touchdown late to make the game close there. But Eagles come away with the win, and you can't be mad at that. The rookie Makuba gets his first interception of his career off of a Kelsey tip in the end zone and almost takes it back. So 77, shout out to 77 for the Chiefs. He's a rookie. He hustled and got that tackle on Makuba to make sure it wasn't a pick six. So you got to give your hats and wherever you can, right? So stick taps for that as well. But nonetheless, the Chiefs are 0-2. That's awesome. They get to join the likes of, the Browns and the Jags and the Titans. So didn't think I was going to see that happening this year, to be totally honest with you. Right. My favorite part of the whole entire thing, though, is Chris Jones telling that he kept Jalen Hurts to 100 yards while we're doing the victory pose. And Jalen Hurts said, still got the fucking win. So I thought that was impressive. And it's true. There's a lot of hate out there that Jalen Hurts doesn't sling it like Mahomes or Burrow, which we'll get into that later. It looks like Burrow won't be slinging it for a while here. But at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts just wants to win. He doesn't give a crap how he wins. All he wants to do is just win. If he only throws for 100 yards and gets one push, and that's enough for a touchdown to win the game, it doesn't matter. As long as you see a W at the end of the column there, that's all that matters to us. So I love that mentality, and I think that team, this Eagles team, definitely embodies that mentality as well too. It's just a go win mentality, and I'm ready for next week. Can't wait, man.
Yeah, here's the thing. I just pulled up the Chiefs' schedule. They're at the Giants next week, but then after that they got the Ravens. Then they're at the Jaguars, but then they have the Lions as well, and then they have the Raiders. So they could, in theory, be 2-4 when they play the Raiders. Sam, like, you could be going into their stadium and they're sitting at 2-4. Like, you could have a chance to bury them when you play them in the middle of October.
I love it.
That would be a hell of an opportunity for your boys to bury them if it comes to fruition. That being said, we'll see. I do know that your boy did say that this was the beginning of the end of it for now, at least, by not picking them to win the AFC West. I'll just say that I did call it.
Yeah,
Saying, is the oracling?
I think the Chiefs are going to have a tough year this year. Maybe not as tough as the Giants' schedule, but they're going to have a tough year with this roster construction.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay, so that being said, let's talk about the Niners. They do go into New Orleans, battered and bruised. They do get the win, 26-21. Kyle Juszczyk left the game with a concussion in the first half. The left guard, Ben Barch, left the game in the first quarter and didn't return with an ankle issue. He was already dealing with elbow and knee issues as it was. And then the nickel cornerback Upton Stout also left late in the game as well with an injury. The new kicker, Eddie Pinheiro, he made both of his field goal attempts from 44 and 46 yards out. Both of those went right down the middle, but he also did miss that first PAT. That led me to channel my inner Rob Lowe from Parks and Rec to keep the bad thoughts away. You know, I was thinking of making darker and darker jokes, but I decided, you know what? No, we'll just kind of keep it somewhat positive here. There was I gathered some stats. Mac Jones did go 26 of 39, 279 yards. He had a passer rating of 113.1, which is great. 3 TDs, 0 interceptions. Christian McCaffrey got 65% of the rushing attempts, which is about what I'd like to see. I don't need to see him at 90%. Give him 65. That's great. Brian Robinson had 30%, and then Ricky Pearsall had a rush as well. Okay, great, perfect, love that. Receiving work, Juwan Jennings got 10 targets. Ricky Pearsall had 6 targets. CMC had 7 targets. That's about that's great. That's fine. CMC, his targets were down a little bit from week 1. Brock Purdy, hyper targets CMC a little bit more. But so that's great. Again, the usage with CMC, I liked seeing him, being utilized heavily, but not completely overutilized. Like I said, 65% instead of 90%, I think is perfect. You still get a lot of value out of him, but you're not overusing him to the point where you're risking even more injury, because guess what? We keep losing guys. This is the 49ers. Guys keep falling to injuries, and it makes me nervous. The first sequence for Mac Jones, though, he did go 0-3. Trent Williams actually talked to him. There was actually a quote from Mac Jones. He said, Trent came up to me and was like, "You're good, dude. Just go out there and hoop." Jones said, and he was like, "I got you. I can go hoop." And then once he was like, "All right, let's go out there and play ball," and that was kind of cool. So, shout out Trent Williams for being a true captain, a true leader. Seeing that Mac Jones was a little bit jumpy, a little bit too hyped up, and just calming him down a little bit, and everything was settled down a little bit more, and he was good to go the rest of the way for the most part. That second drive was a lot smoother. He hit Ricky Pearsall for that 15-yarder on third down. There was that. Let's see. The touchdown pass to Luke Farrell. That was on a 3rd and 1, I think, and it was like a play action pass, right, to Luke Farrell, the now starting tight end. It was the backup tight end, right? So yeah, that's and then they were like 8 of 15 on third down. The Saints were like 4 of 11 as well. So that's great. They got the job done on third down. Love that. Let's see what else. I did pull up some stats on kickers as well. I have some fun facts about, since kickers are what we were talking about big time. Kickers being drafted early, they have rarely ever paid off. Since the year 2000, only 3 of them have drafted in the first 4 rounds of the draft have played more than 50 games for the team that drafted them.
Seabass was one.
Seabass was one of them. Can you name the other 2?
Gosh, no. I mean, I can't even think of any prolific kickers. Was one of them? No, because he was drafted late too.
Who? Say it.
The one that was with the Ravens, who's no longer with the Ravens anymore.
No, he was late.
He was drafted late.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
Steven Gostkowski was a 4th rounder for the Patriots. He was 204 games for the Patriots, and then kicked another season somewhere else. I don't remember where. And then Nate Kading got 113 games.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was, and he was a 3rd rounder. Everybody else is like 40. Mike Nugent was 49 games. Robert Aguayo only got that one season with the Buccaneers. Jake Moody, obviously a 3rd rounder. Bill Gramatica got 2 seasons. Let's see, Chad Ryland, Cade York, Jeff Chandler only got like 8 games. He ended up playing 5 more somewhere else. And yeah, everybody else kind of flames out as an early drafted kicker. Like it's bad out here for an early kicker, especially since the year 2000. Yeah, unless your name is Sebastian Janikowski. So
yeah, we got one.
Yeah, you got the one. Congratulations. Locked it down. 268 games for Seabass. And then he had 1 season in Seattle, if I remember.
Your kickers suck. We got Seabass.
You got lucky there, bud. You really did. Stick taps for you. Truly. You know what? I'd actually call Steven Gostkowski a win as well, if I'm being honest. Like, you get 204 games. It was pretty automatic. Like 204 games out of a 4th round kicker. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't know what else, like how much more you could expect, like out of a kicker. That's great. And then just one more note on the head coach hiring class of 2002. Let's see, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There was 10 of those dudes hired that year. 6 of them have since been fired. The ones that are remaining are Brian Daboll in New York, the Giants.
He's been fired. He just doesn't know it yet.
Mike McDaniel in Miami.
He's also been fired. He just doesn't know it yet. And
then you have Todd Bowles and Kevin O'Connell in Tampa and Minnesota. So both of those guys look pretty good. They look pretty solid. I think they're going to stick around for a while there. Yeah. So Brian Daboll, he didn't really. I don't think he was set up to succeed to begin with. Mike McDaniel, it's kind of flamed out on him.
What do you mean Brian Daboll wasn't set to succeed? You take away the best player on your team and you're not able to succeed?
Yeah, I know, right? It's weird how that worked out.
Crazy.
It? Yeah.
It's also crazy how good Daniel Jones has been since leaving. I know it's been a really small sample size, but God, he looked so much better than when he was with the Giants.
Yeah. Just back to the Jake Moody draft pick. There was like about 10 different offensive linemen taken in the 3rd round after the Niners took Jake Moody, and 5 of those guys are still like playing in the league right now. The starting right guard for Seattle, Anthony Bradford, could have had him. DeJuan Jones, the starting left tackle in Cleveland, could have had him. Right now, well, there's 2 guys on the IR right now and then there's another guy that's a starting center for Houston, Jake Andrews. He's only started 2 games, but so there's a couple of guys that have started games or like could have started games. So like there's other positions that the Niners could have gone instead of kicker. So just kicking away picks. So
there's always big what ifs though. I mean, like the one more recently I could think of is that the Eagles took Rager when they could have taken Justin Jefferson. So.
Yeah. Hindsight, right? 2020, right?
Can you imagine if you hated us now? Imagine if we had Justin Jefferson on the squad.
Yeah. Makes me want to just like take an angry shit. Anyway, okay, so this the Niners are 2-0 though. And this is the 7th time the Niners have opened the season with 2 straight road wins. They went on to the Super Bowl in 4 of the previous 6 occasions. Those occasions, 1989, they won Super Bowl 24. 1992, they lost the NFC Championship to the Dallas Cowboys. Didn't like that. 2012, they lost Super Bowl 47. 2019, they lost Super Bowl 54. That was to the Chiefs. 2021 they lost the NFC Championship to the Rams, and then 2023 they lost Super Bowl 58. So,
are you telling me you don't want to do this?
no, I'm saying that the Niners are going deep.
Okay.
That
a lot of L's
deep run.
there.
They're going to get at
make
least
you
the
feel
NFC
really
title game.
confident.
No, I'm saying that the Niners are that a deep run is coming from the Niners.
Okay.
That we're so effing back. That's what I'm saying.
He said one and then just rattled off like 7 L's in a row, and I was like, I don't know what the stat you're trying to say here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, too,
Okay.
fun little game that Lisa brought up to me, my wife, that I actually didn't know. There are 4 current logos in the NFL that have a 5-point star. What 4 teams have 5-point stars in their logo?
Cowboys.
Easy. Okay. It's Cowboys. I did not know some of these. I was shocked. She had to Google it for me. I was like, there's
5-point stars.
Yep.
Patriots.
Yep.
Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's 3 of them.
Are you looking at logos?
Yeah, I am.
You're not supposed to look. That's why you're supposed to guess. Cheater.
No.
I could see his eyes like reading the screen.
The Oracle's a lie.
Yeah, no.
Cheating.
That one I was totally cheating. Yeah, I don't know.
The last one, since you're cheating over here, is
this is
Texans.
Oracle Gate.
Steelers?
No, the Texans. The Steelers don't have 5-point stars. They do have stars. They don't have 5-point. Texans is the last one.
Texans.
The Steelers have the little shiny, the 4-point.
It's shiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I did not know the Titans had stars in their logo.
They have 3
show
little
me
stars.
That. Did not know that. So, anyways, last couple of notes. You said Brock Purdy. When will he be back?
Brock Purdy is going to be back 2 to 5 weeks. There is an outside chance he's back this coming week. We'll see. It's a question mark. I don't think it's actually going to happen. He has turf toe. They said likely to miss 2 to 5 weeks. I think he probably misses this Arizona game coming up. We'll see.
I could see that.
Jake Moody also ended up signing on the Bears practice squad. Outside of that, the NFL at large, the Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, he's going to be out 3 months due to having surgery on his toe. Justin Fields is in concussion protocol. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels has a knee injury. He had an MRI on it. His status for Sunday's game versus the Raiders is in doubt. The Vikings will be without J.J. McCarthy and running back Aaron Jones this week versus the Bengals. So there's that.
Don't also forget Austin Eckler is done for the season.
Yeah, Austin Eckler. ACL. The ACL is. No, it's Achilles, not ACL. Achilles.
Achilles. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're right. Well, before we move on here, I want to know, Sam, how are you feeling? What are your predictions tonight?
The rivalry.
You got Monday Night Football.
I'm pumped. Monday Night Football. The rivalry.
Brock is playing.
Back. Pete Carroll versus Jim Harbaugh, 6-6 all time. Pete Carroll 2-1 in the college ranks. Jim Harbaugh 5-4 in the NFL. However, Pete Carroll's Seahawks did eliminate Jim Harbaugh's 49ers in the NFC Championship game back in 2013.
Excuse me, I'm going to go drown myself real quick.
Yeah, all right, he's going to go drown himself. Both coaches, I think, they're obviously trying to rejuvenate their franchises. The Chargers did make the playoffs last season, but laid an egg in those playoffs. Both teams are very similar how they want to play. They want to run the ball. They want to play physical defense. This is going to be a good old-fashioned rock fight or fist fight. So I think each team is going to be throwing haymakers at one another. I think it's going to come down to really 2 things. Who's going to be able to establish the run? Who's going to be able to run the ball in the fourth quarter? And turnovers. I think there's going to be a couple turnovers on each side. It's going to be who wins those turnover battles and gets touchdowns. So hopefully, as a Raider fan, I'm hoping that battle goes to the Raiders' way. So I do see the Raiders pulling it out and getting a win and taking sole possession of the AFC West. I think they're going to have a little bit of juice of the home crowd. It's their home opener. The Chiefs lost. The Raiders know that they can finally be in first place. And we know Pete Carroll's going to have this team fired up. And like I said last week, what I was really impressed with the Raiders win last week was the adjustments they made. This is not a coaching staff that is going to come in underprepared. And it was said after the game that, each player is playing with their hair on fire as if they were all Max Crosby. So everybody is giving 100% their all. This coaching staff, I think, is going to put their players in a position to succeed. I do think it's going to be a tight one. I think it's coming down to a game-winning field goal. So I'm thinking something like 24-26, 24-27, something like that, with the Raiders winning with a Daniel Carlson field goal. And we're going to win. We're going to win this game. We're going to be in first place, baby.
Let's see here. You asked. You said something that was very interesting to me. I want to know what the spread is here. Oh, they got them at 3. So yeah, you're right there. That's what the spread's at. So Vegas also thinks it's going to be by a field goal. So, I do like the comments this week where they had asked Harbaugh, how is it to go against Pete, and Harbaugh's answer was, well, I don't think I'm getting a Christmas card this year from Pete. So, so.
I did see interview, though, with it might have been the same interview where Harbaugh was talking about, like, he wish he could have played for Pete Carroll because he thinks they would have had a great relationship or been on a coaching staff when he was an up and coming coach. Mm-hmm. It's just, the way the cookie broke was, they were just on opposite sides, right? And what's interesting is Jim Harbaugh got his coaching break from the Raiders. He was the quarterback coach. Mm-hmm. And so his first coaching job in the NFL, Al Davis hired him to be the quarterback coach. And then, Harbaugh goes on to San Diego State and Stanford and so on. And now Pete Carroll's a Raider. So it's interesting that they're both Raiders. Obviously one is current. So that I thought that was pretty cool. So every time Jim Harbaugh was a free agent coach, there was always the lines going back to the Raiders, but it just never worked out.
Yeah. I also think too that just given the roster and the climate of what the Raiders were, I just think it wasn't always going to be the right fit. Obviously, if the position was open now and I think Harbaugh was free, I think he might consider it. But, just the way it goes, just like you say, just the way the cookie crumbles, right? So,
yeah, I think previous eras of the Raiders, they didn't have the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I think what made the Chargers so interesting for Harbaugh was Justin Herbert. I mean, he has all the tools, Justin Herbert has all the physical tools to be a great quarterback. It just needs to get it done. Yeah. So I think the Chargers have they have a damn good roster, and we know Harbaugh's a good coach. I'm not taking anything away from them. This fight is, this game is going to be earned, whoever wins. And I think the AFC West is proving to be, it's going to be a dogfight. With these are Hall of Fame coaches. Every team has a Hall of Fame coach and a really good roster. We didn't talk about the Denver Broncos losing that heartbreaker, but they're a really good team. So far, they should have won that game.
They really should.
Their kicker missed it. And then there was the penalty in the end. But top to bottom, the AFC West is loaded. Even though the Chiefs are 0-2 and they're starting to show signs of senioritis, I think they're just getting old and a lot of miles on these bodies. How many they went to 3 straight Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. We talk about this with the Golden State Warriors. When you go to that many championship games and series, how much more extra miles is on your body and these blows, these hits. So I think the Chiefs are just starting to get old, but I'm not counting them out. They are, Andy Reid will have that team ready to play at some point. They could, at some point they could get on a heater, and all of a sudden they just wheeled off 8, 9, 10, 11 wins in a row. And you could get caught up in that. So I still give them their respect. The other teams in the AFC West made the playoffs. The Raiders didn't. That's last season. This is a new season, and new head coach, new GM, new quarterback, new offensive coordinator. It's a whole new attitude. So I'm pretty excited. I still got the Raiders though.
Well, I think that's a great segue because you had mentioned the Warriors and the amount of miles and trips that they put into it, but they are recently in some good news here. However you want to take this, but looks like the Warriors have given another offer to JK, Jonathan Kuminga. They have offered him a 3-year, $75.2 million contract with a team option on the last year. It's definitely a little bit of bitterness between the two. The most recent, headline quote came out with the owner for the Warriors, Joe Lacob, asking Kuminga if he wants to be here, and Kuminga responding, "Do you even want me here?" So, I at this point, I think of the saga. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but I as much as I love JK, and I think there's still a lot of untapped potential with JK. We do get on his case a lot when it comes to making just simple decisions of hustling sometimes, but I think at this point, I would be happy with him to see greener pastures, and maybe a new scenery could change what is, I think it's just at this point tarnished over here. I think if you can get that deal, this deal is definitely done in favor, in my opinion, for a trade down the road that another team could take this contract, and it's not going to be such a burden on them. So I think I think that's the angle that they're trying to go with to convincing Kuminga. They're like, hey, look, it's not what you asked for, but we'll get you to another team, and then if this will be easier for them to do that, and they can sign you with an extension, right? So, tell me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of what it feels like to me at this point.
I mean, I think the waters are so muddied now that it's beyond right and wrong, or who's right, who's wrong. I think they did this to themselves, the franchise and Jonathan Kuminga. I've been saying this for a very long time. We all see the talent that Jonathan Kuminga has, but I ask myself this all the time, and I ask other Golden State Warrior fans this: what game or stretch of games has Jonathan Kuminga dominated, beginning to end, all 4 quarters, where he deserves this type of contract or this type of investment to be the guy, to be the one that says, okay, Steph, okay, Jimmy Butler, okay, Draymond Green, you guys are going to have to step aside because he's just too damn good. He's just too damn good. When was that stretch of games? We've seen a quarter, we've seen a half of really good basketball, but I haven't seen a whole game. I haven't seen a stretch of games for him to come into the Golden State Warriors office and have this type of outlook that you need to hand me the bag and hand me the keys to this franchise. I understand he wants a place on the roster. He wants a defined role. You're not starting over those guys. You're not.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, to get to the meats of it, I mean, he's willing to go down to $20 million a year, but he wants a player option. And I'm just sorry, you're just not going to get a player option. Like, you're not going to hold this franchise, basically at gunpoint to wherever you want to go, because it's not how it would work. It's just, I think at this point, he hasn't shown enough to get that equity. Like, if Steph tomorrow was like, hey, I want to go play in Charlotte, but I want to re-sign contract and I want a player options, I'm going to be here for like the next 2 years and I'm going to do a 1-and-1. Joe Lacob signs that deal for him. Hey, thank you for what you did, man. I appreciate it. You get off our books on that one, but yeah, absolutely, man. If you want to go play at Charlotte or wherever else you want to go play in Cleveland, where you were born, whatever, right? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I just think you got to get that equity, and Kuminga has just have not gotten that equity. Also on that note too, the qualifying offer that they initially gave to him, or at least they tendered out to him, the $7.9 million, has to be accepted by October 1st. Other than that, it goes into a bidding war after that. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Vince? Is it just time to move on from Kuminga?
Probably. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But I'm definitely over it. I just want this to be done. Whatever the solution is, just get it done. if it's the 2 for 45, if it's this 3 for 75 that they are offering now, if it's just the qualifying offer, I genuinely don't give a damn anymore. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Let's just wrap it
I
up.
to
Whatever the
continue
solution is,
though,
if it's yeah, if they just cut him loose, let him go.
I
Like
don't know if they do that though. You got to get
I
something in
yeah, you got to
return.
get
but
something for
I
him for
think
sure. But like
where what Vince is alluding to a little bit though is, like I was saying earlier, the water is so muddy right now that the Warriors don't even have a complete roster to put a team on the
yeah,
court. And if you're the players that are on the roster right now and you're working out, you're getting ready for the season, how does that, you try not to let the business get to you, but how do you, if you're a player, how do you not feel like JK is holding the franchise hostage where you can't bring in Al Horford, you can't bring in GP2, there's all this rumors that there's agreements with certain players, but they can't do it. And now those free agent players are starting to get a little frustrated because it's not coming together. So it's not just like Jonathan Kaminga's bag, it's like other people's bag. And what team are we going to field onto the court? So even if he signs the qualifying offer, I think there's going to be drama in the locker room. I don't know if it's Jordan Poole drama, you know,
Yeah.
but I think there's going to be some drama. And I think no matter what contract he signs, he's getting shipped out at some point. He's not going to be a Golden State Warrior for very long. I don't think he gets cut for nothing coming back, but I think
right.
they did this to themselves. The Warriors had offers that they could have made this trade, last year in the offseason. They could have, they had options, but now it's
Well,
such
that's
a
something
mess.
to Joe Lacob though. Like
Yeah.
he's much of a fan like we are, right? But that sometimes I think that comes to bite him in the ass because he loved JK. I mean,
He did.
maybe it's a little tarnished right now, but there's a reason why he was saying he is untouchable. And
I think
unfortunately,
he was enamored with his own Johnny Lightyear's
yeah,
thing of like, we're so far ahead. We got Steph. We're gonna win now, and we got James Wiseman and all these other guys. And I think for him, it was holding on to JK represented a future superstar that was also drafted and developed, and then that transition of Steph to a younger
JK,
generation. And
yeah,
that is so rare. That is so rare that franchises, what the 49ers did with quarterbacks, right? Montana and Young. That is so rare for any team in any sport to do, to be on a 20-year winning pattern. The
yeah.
Warriors have been winning a lot of games with this current team, with Steph Curry, I'll say. And to just think you were going to do that for the next 10, 15 years with JK is just, so I think he
Yeah.
was enamored with his own ego of Johnny Light years of being so far ahead of the NBA.
Yeah. Well, I that and I
But
just
you're
think
right.
personnel just wasn't there. There's a lot of things that I think, you could write a dissertation on as to how this all failed, right? So, but I think at the end of it all, where we're kind of in agreement, it's just greener pastures is probably is the best suit for Kaminga at this point. Um, but yeah, we'll wait to see how it shakes out.
All right.
But on the other side of that,
Yeah.
the women's are in the playoff mode right now. So
Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about some basketball that's actually happening right now. Valkyries finished off the regular season. Unfortunately, with two losses, they lose the regular season finale at Minnesota Lynx on Thursday. That was a blowout loss. They also lost a 1 point game against Seattle on Tuesday, and that loss actually got Seattle into the playoffs. But because they lost those last two games, that actually dropped the Valkyries down to the 8th seed. That meant that they're playing the top seeded Minnesota Lynx. And then on Sunday, game one, they started off well. That game was they come out first quarter, they're firing shots. They're they start off 5 for 8 from three, and they're up 28-21. And then the second quarter happens, they're down 7 at the half. And then the third quarter happens, they're down 21 points. And then by the time the game is over, they've lost the game 101 to 72. Just not enough firepower. Minnesota is just too good. They entered this season on a mission, and it's looking more and more like this might just be a cameo appearance. Unfortunately, hopefully they can turn it around, get some SAP Center magic a little bit. Hopefully, they're playing on Wednesday at SAP Center instead of Chase Center due to some unfortunate scheduling, uh, due to some stupid freaking men's tennis tournament at Chase Center that was put on the books before the Valkyries were a team with a schedule, unfortunately. So that game is going to be.
Hey, I rented the Chase
7
Center with
p.m.
my
on
friends
Wednesday.
a long time ago. So
Go screw yourself. No,
if you're not doing
they're
this,
going to be at SAP Center.
If you're doing this, we can see Sam has a pickleball tournament at Chase Center.
Yeah,
it's for my birthday.
No, so they're gonna so that game is going to be Wednesday at 7 p.m. If they're able to pull this off, game 3 is going to be the tie-breaking game. These are best of 3 in the first round. That'll be Friday. That game will be at 5, I think 5:30. And that'll be back in Minnesota if necessary. The rest of the league, the only visiting team to get a W was the New York Liberty. They are playing at Phoenix. That's the 4-5 matchup. They get the win in overtime, but they lost Brianna Stewart. They're kind of checking on her. Hopefully she's not too hurt. She's kind of important if the New York Liberty are going to defend their title. We'll see how that shakes out. The Las Vegas Aces continue their winning ways. They get a huge win over Seattle. And then the Atlanta Dream get the win over Indiana, 80 to 68. Though all of those games took place on Sunday. So from here on out, Tuesday, you're going to have the Indiana and Atlanta series and the Seattle Las Vegas series. And then on Wednesday, that's obviously we have the Valkyries hosting Minnesota, but then also the New York Liberty and the Phoenix series continuing as well. And then it'll alternate from there. And then the second round series, if hopefully, if the Valkyries can pull off the major upset of all upsets to ever happen, they would take on the winner of that New York Liberty Phoenix series. Obviously I'm not expecting that to happen. Minnesota is just entirely too good.
They're really good.
They're really, really good. Just to give you a little bit of the stat line, Nafisa Collier it had 20 points in only 26 minutes. She shot 7 of 11. And just was untouchable basically. Veronica Burton played 34 minutes and they basically turned her into a volume shooter. She was 3 of 9 from deep. She hit all 5 of her free throws though. So they just basically, she was the only one that was able to just volume shoot a bit. Chechi Zandalazini also had 14 points, but was, it was kind of a rough game overall. On the bench, Kate Martin had 11 points as well. But yeah, it was kind of a rough game. Just every stat line, you look down the entire.
It's kind of what we thought it was going to be, though. I mean,
I kind of went and expected it. Right? I was hoping that they wouldn't fall to the 8th seed because I was afraid that something like this would happen. If the Valkyries were going to have a realistic chance at pulling an upset, I kind of lightweight had the Atlanta Dream circled, or if they could have fought their way all the way up to the 5 seed. I didn't really see that being realistic, but if a miracle could have happened and they could have fought their way up to the 5 seed, I was like, okay, maybe they could have made something happen against Phoenix. But but like if they could have got up to the 6th seed or held the 6th seed and played Atlanta, maybe that could have been a more of a realistic shot at an upset there. Um, Las Vegas Aces, they figured it out. I knew they would. I talked about it a few weeks ago. That it was just a matter of time before they figured it out, and they did. God damn it,
Yeah.
Oh, like I think they only lost one game in the final 17 or 18 games of the entire season. So they were at 500 with the Valkyries right around the All-Star break, and they vaulted all the way up to the 2 seed. Like they got it sorted out. So yeah. No, I take it back. They didn't lose a game. They won 16 straight. I take it back. I just looked it up. So yeah, it's going to be a little rough, but there was a lot of good stuff that happened too as well. Veronica Burton was officially named the Kia Most Improved Player by the WNBA.
Oh,
she's
sick.
also the Associated Press Most Improved Player. The Associated Press named their Coach of the Year. That was Natalie Nakasi, the coach of the Valkyries, and Janelle Salon made the All Rookie team for the Associated Press. So those are all great things as well. It's an impressive year overall by the Valkyries. I had a lot of fun watching this season, and I look forward to if it ends this week, so be it. If it doesn't end this week, even better. We get to keep talking about it more and more. But this has been a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I got to take this journey and I learning more about it. And we get to keep watching it and see a lot more happen, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, no matter
seeing where it goes from here.
No matter how you cut it, they overachieved. I don't think any of us had them in the playoffs. We were hoping for a puncher's chance.
I mean, no. Yeah. I mean, making the playoffs would have been at the start of the season. Nobody plans on expansion teams making the playoffs.
Yeah.
What the Golden Knights did in the NHL, that's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, well, that was also a robbery.
That was
never gonna happen again.
Nobody ever expects that. So this is kind of a new standard being set. They were able to come together. You pick the 6th or 7th best player from every team, and you were able to put together a team that was fighting for the 6th or 7th seed for the entire year. This is they were able to hold their own, and if the season were maybe 3 or 4 more games longer, which is probably what's going to happen when you add 2 more teams next year.
I don't know if you mentioned it, Vince, but you also, they lost Kayla Thornton.
Yeah, they lost their all-star. Yeah,
I mean, she was probably going to win Most Improved Player until she got hurt.
And then Veronica Burton really stepped up and took took over too. Yeah, so this is huge. Just players stepping up. Like that's just kind of been the mantle. Next player up, right? That's something that a lot of players talk about, right? But rarely do you ever get to see players be about it, it's been a pleasure to watch this firsthand.
Well, I will say, the Valkyries coming here, it's been welcoming, and I appreciate all the new fans that are getting into the WNBA and of all walks of life here. So shout out to anyone wanting to be a Valkyrie fan and at any level, any capacity, and we always welcome you guys just as much as the Valkyrie team welcomes us as fans for them. So I'm excited to be a part of this history run that they've done in the WNBA, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen down the road for them as well too. So on that note, I do want to talk about inspiring up and comings. What's going to be, unless you got something else for the WNBA?
No. Just go Valks. Just really excited. They even debuted the mascot this year. That mascot debut was perfect.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Well, I'm ready to switch us over to the ice here on the frozen pond here, and it looks like we got a signing, boys. Somebody's not going back to college.
Woo!
Michael Misa signed his entry-level contract. So one of two things are going to happen. He either is going to be on the opening day roster, which we all pretty much agree that's going to happen, or he's going to join a a minor league. Like I think they said Ottawa was where he might be ended up if he doesn't go on to the big league squad here. So I definitely think he's going to be in the opening day roster.
The AHL hasn't quite worked out their 18-year-olds rule yet. They're in the process of doing that, so I don't think he can end up there yet. So he can't quite go to the Barracuda. So that means he either goes back to the OHL or he's with the NHL. And he's outgrown the OHL. He's too good for that. He's not gonna develop anymore.
Yeah,
he's too good. He's not gonna. It's not gonna do him any good to be there. So unless something really really weird happens there, he's gonna be on the NHL roster. So there we go. Yeah. Really excited for that. You can buy his jersey now too at the on the Shark store. I saw that was available. I saw that little ad pop up on my Instagram feed. So that's cool.
Well, also too, there were some talks that Sidney Crosby asked if Macklin Celebrini would make the Canadian National Olympics roster, and Sid the Kid said that he's earned the right to be in that conversation. They were on the lines together at the World Championships, and it seems like a good chemistry has been built between them. That's certainly terrifying for the rest of the world to have to see that.
Yeah.
Celebrini and Sid the Kid, and that's
Connor McDavid, like the haggard old man now. Not so much the kid anymore, right?
That's true. Yeah, it's kind of like when Sid was in the league, Mario Lemieux was kind of getting towards the end of it, so it was kind of like that transition.
Mario Lemieux had retired and came back.
Yeah.
After being inducted into the Hall of Fame because he had retired from that back injury. And then he's like, you know what? My back's feeling better. I think I'll start playing again. Then they had to redo his plaque because he added more goals and stats to his career totals.
Terrifying that's on the same team for international play. But you got to think Macklin Celebrini is going to learn a thing or two from one of the greats. So it's, as a Sharks fan, I'm happy because I think it's going to develop his game even more. But international play, be afraid, be very afraid.
Yeah. I can't wait for the Worlds again, and have USA and Canada go at it. I want to see it one more time. So that's gonna be a blast.
Absolutely.
All right, boys.
We got some time for soccer.
Yeah, we can jump into it real quick.
Let's just rip through it real quick. Yeah,
go ahead.
We got a couple minutes. Let's do it.
Go ahead, Vince. Take it.
All right, so I guess let's start with the U.S. soccer. On the women's side, they announced a pair of friendlies against Italy to close out 2025. First time, it's going to be the first time playing Italy in 15 years. USA beat Italy 2-0 on aggregate. Let's see. Sorry, that's the Wrexham image. Oh, there we go. We're good. We're good now. Okay, we're good. All right. So, let's see. U.S. women's national team is 10 wins, one draw, and 4 losses all time versus Italy. Italy's currently ranked 12th in the world. U.S. is ranked 12th. So those games are going to be November 28th in Orlando, December 1st versus Fort Lauderdale. Other upcoming matches this year are going to be all in October on the 23rd and 26th versus Portugal and 29th versus New Zealand. On the men's side, this game was happening as we were recording last week. The U.S. men did end up beating Japan on Tuesday 2-0. Japan did field their B squad, and that was more of an effort to determine their depth roster spots for the World Cup because they had already qualified. There were a couple of dangerous chances by Japan, but the defense was able to hold. U.S. men they started the game with a 3-4-3 for the first time under Pochettino. Several of the men's team players looked much more comfortable in it, including Max Arfsten and Alex Freeman. So that was good. The attack looked dangerous. Balogun played the 9, Pulisic and Zendejas were playing well off of him. Zendejas got a goal. Arfsten was able to beat the defender with a little step over off of the wing. And that dangerous ball he played into Zendejas with a beautiful clinical finish there. It was like a really neat one time, left-footed volley, just kind of inside the far post, and then Balogun gets a goal fed from Pulisic himself. So all those names I just said, they all contributed to goals, man. So that's great to see. Balogun was in behind Japan's back line, and he just used a strong stiff arm to hold off a defender, and then he finishes to the far post, man. It was great. So you'll love to see that. So Pochettino really tried to implement his own, like system that he wanted to, but the guys just weren't able to play with it. And so he finally said, screw it. These guys can't play my system. I will try to make the 3-4-3 work. And
it seems to be working out.
It did. Like, so it worked this time against Japan. Japan's a quality opponent. Like, it's the first time that he's beaten a team that's ranked in the top 25, since taking over as the men's national team head coach. So, all is well, right? Everything's fixed. No more problems. Everything's all honky dory. No more problems. Everything's fine. Problem solved. Everything's great. Everything is awesome. Everything's cool when you're part of the team. All right, great. On to Bay FC. They get the draw at Orlando on Saturday. Rachel Kundananji gets a goal in stoppage time in the first half. Caprice Didasco sent a ball long into the box. Kundananji heads it one-timer past the keeper, and then Marta had a goal disallowed in the 56th minute after VAR ruled that she had a handball. So that was kind of funny. The veteran trying to get a little veteran trickery happening. Couldn't get away with it that time. But then Ali Watt gets a goal in the 70th minute for Orlando to tie it up. Hernandez centered across into the box, and then Watt heads it into the upper corner. Silkowitz had no shot to stop it. So there's your match, 1-1 draw. That they're sitting in 12th. They're not making the playoffs this year. Their next match is at home versus Gotham FC on Sunday at 5:30. One more note from the league at large: Racing Louisville and Seattle Reign had their match delayed. That match is going to resume on Tuesday after Savannah DeMello collapsed near halftime on Sunday. That's the third time, I believe, we had a player collapsing on the field during a match. I'm glad that the league took the lesson from Savvy King's incident. So, this is, I'm glad that, and Savannah DeMello has since posted, and it sounds like everything's okay with her, and they're getting tested and making sure everything's okay. So, that part's sad. I do want to finish that. Abby Dahlkemper announced that she is pregnant and she's having a boy. So we're going to finish with a happy note. Congratulations, Abby Dahlkemper. Woo! That is why that she hasn't been playing the last few weeks. It went from a back injury to excused. So we suspected it was either that or she was demanding a trade. Since she demanded a trade to get traded up here, we didn't think it was that part of it. So this is what we were hoping for. It was this kind of happier news, and that's exactly what it was. So there we go. Congratulations to the mother to be. Woo.
Nice.
All right. So there we go. And there's my soccer talk. It's hot as shit.
Well, I think on that note, everyone's burning up. We do this for you guys.
Yeah, let's call it.
I think at this point, I love the engagements in the chats. Just keep it civil, guys. That's all I got to say. But again, happy to have you guys in here. Happy to have you guys a part of this journey that we're on of doing this show every single week. So as always, thank you guys for listening to the SVT podcast. Subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell to get alerts when we go live. Also, if you don't have time to listen, we are putting out several segments throughout the week. So make sure you hit the bell and alert so when those come out for you guys. Follow us on Instagram and Threads at SVT Sports Pods and slide to our DMs. We'd love to interact with all of you guys. Have a good night.
FJF.
Right. Yeah. FJF. And thanks for talking Bay Area sports, people. We'll see you next time.